We are not crying today. We are not crying today. I've got too much shit to do. We're not crying today.
Didn't I make you laugh? Didn't I make you smile?
Just so everyone knows, there's going to be loud noises. There are currently teenage boys in the house, and they don't know how to keep quiet. Hi friends, it's Rory, and today is another Valentine's themed video, as you can tell from my Valentine's themed makeup and my Valentine's themed shirt. So Valentine's Day is supposed to be all about love, but it's really about capitalization and buying overpriced chocolate. But it doesn't matter because your girl is single, so we're gonna focus on talking about love instead. So I have mentioned several of my favorite ships of all time, and so I thought it would be fun to just like go through a video where I talk and cry and clutch my pearls like a Victorian woman over how much I love them. So let's go ahead and get started. Now you'd think you would start with your least favorite ship, but I'm gonna start with my favorite ship. This ship has broken me down so many times. I love every single person in this ship. It's a 3-person ship, and that is Will and Tessa and Jem from the Shadowhunter universe, specifically from the Infernal Devices though. Oh my god. So I've mentioned a couple times that I have read all of the Shadowhunter books, and I'm not the biggest fan of the original series, but the Infernal Devices is one of my favorite book series of all fucking time, and it is almost entirely because of these 3 characters. I cry the second any of them are mentioned. Will is brought up a couple times in the Dark Artifact series, and of course Jem and Tessa are part of the Dark Artifact series, and I cried every time that happened. Every time they appeared on the page, I was crying. Every time Jem mentioned Will's name, I was crying. When Tessa was talking about how she had a connection to both the Herondales and the Blackthorns, I was crying. I cry the second any of them are together, and I don't understand how anyone could have read the Infernal Devices series and only ship Tessa with one of the boys, because they're all in love. I don't get it. Like, I know that I didn't read them when they came out. I've only read them in the past year. Or actually, no, that's a lie. I read Infernal Devices 2 years ago. I read the rest of the Shadowhunter books in the past year. But I've only read them recently, so I don't know what it was like when the books originally came out. But for anyone to be just Team Wessa or Team Jessa, I do not understand it, because every single one of those 3 is in love with each other. And they break my heart, and tearing up just thinking about them. They're so in love. And it's also so tragic because Jem can't be with them for a large portion of the time, but Will and Tessa named their son after him, and Tessa and Jem named their daughter after Will in a really roundabout way, and I'm just like, I love them so much. Next up, we're gonna do one of my Harry Potter ships, so listen, when it comes to Harry Potter, he is my bicycle. Now, if you don't know what a bicycle is, it's basically the character that you ship with everyone. I ship Harry Potter with everyone. I don't care. When I read Harry Potter fanfiction, I'm like, Harry Potter and Neville? Sign me the fuck up. Harry Potter and Draco Malfoy? A classic, as always. Harry Potter and Voldemort? I mean, I'm in the mood for some dark fic, but Harry Potter should have ended up with Luna Lovegood. I'm telling you, Harry Potter. I love Harry and Jenny. I used to not like Harry and Jenny when I was younger and I had internalized misogyny, but now that I'm older, I really like Harry and Jenny. And I think that they work well together. I think that they're, you know, good. I love Jenny and how she's just like the youngest of a family of boys, so she's like going to beat your ass no matter what. But Harry and Luna is the one person in Harry's life who does not treat him any different. Harry is the chosen one, but to Luna, he's just her friend. And I fucking love that. Along with that, Harry took Luna to like the Slug Club meetings and the moment in the Forbidden Forest when they were together, and she's like, you're just the same as I am, and she understood that he needed that. They could have been so good. Harry Potter should have ended up with Luna Lovegood. Am I happy that Harry and Jenny got together? Yeah, sure, but Harry should have ended up with Luna. There is no phone in this building, only facts. Up next, I've mentioned this several times, Kai and Cinder is one of my favorite ships of all time. They're the best ship in the Lunar Chronicles. I do not understand anyone who says that they are insta-love, because they are very much not. The book Cinder is my favorite because it's just, most of it is just Kai and Cinder and their wonderful, like, early bits of their relationship. The way that they work, it's so good. The way that Kai is always, like, is forthfront with Cinder, but he'll accept her when she's against him. Like when he asks her to go to the ball with him and he kind of like stops the elevator and she's like, nah fam, and then he accepts it and he goes on, and just they love each other so much. And then once they kidnap him and he's on the ship, their relationship is like really cute, and I love them a lot. I need to reread the entire Lunar Chronicles because I'm feeling the Kai and Cinder in this Chili's tonight, and I need to have that in my life again. Up next, we're going to go into some of the Rick Riordan ships, and this one is probably going to be a surprise to some people because I know that a lot of people do not like this ship, but it is Leo Valdez and Calypso. I love this ship. First of all, Leo Valdez is one of my favorite Percy Jackson characters of all time, and I know that a ton of people hate him unjustly because he likes to like make fun of things and he jokingly flirts with people and a whole bunch of, I saw people like treating him like he was a super misogynistic asshole, which is not true at all, and I have no idea if they were reading the same book as I was. But the chapter where Leo is stuck on Calypso's island is probably one of my favorite chapters in the Heroes of Olympus series. I have it dog-eared in my book at all times so that I can flip right to that chapter, because like in this giant book of quests and a whole bunch of other issues, there's just a tiny love story, and it fucks me up, like, oh my gosh. And I had no idea what was coming, despite the fact that the entire time I was reading the Heroes of Olympus series, I was on like Tumblr looking at stuff, so I got spoiled for some things. Like I knew Percy and Annabeth fell down into Tartarus, and I knew that Nico was gay. I never heard anything about Leo and Calypso, and so it was a complete 100% surprise to me. And then right after, this is probably the reason why I ended up shipping them as much as I do. I was on YouTube.
Yeah, no shit, honey!
And someone did an animation of Leo and Calypso to the song Only Us from Dear Evan Hansen, which is my favorite Dear Evan Hansen song. And I cried, and oh, I love them so much. And I'm really, really happy that despite the fact that I want them to be, you know, happy and in a committed relationship, when they were in, what's the second Trials of Apollo book called? I don't remember. Whatever the second Trials of Apollo series or book is called. I'm really glad that they were super duper mature and they were like, hey, we really, really like each other and we love each other, but I was just trapped on an island and I need to live a little, so let's be separated for a little while and then we'll come back together and it will be great. And it was so mature. I love them so much. I don't understand how people cannot like them. They're two precious beings in a precious being relationship. Just realized both the Harry Potter ships that I have on this are not canon. Remus and Sirius. I have been a hardcore Remus Sirius shipper since they came in the books. Third book, Remus ship Sirius, I was there for it. I was 100% invested. I was on it. I was like, those two, they love each other. Prove me wrong. And I just, yes, most of this ship comes from the fact that other people ship them, and so there's a whole bunch of cute fanfic and also cute, like, fan art of the two of them, and anything Marauder related, I'm absolutely in love with. Most of the time when I say that I'm feeling like reading Harry Potter fanfiction, it's Wolfstar fanfiction, which is the ship name of Remus and Sirius. Also, the trope where Harry gets to go with Sirius instead of the Dursleys, and so Sirius and Remus end up raising Harry is just, it's the best. It's so good. But also, just like in the actual book, they seem like so in love. Like there's that one part in the 5th book where Sirius and Molly are arguing, and Remus looks at Sirius and for like a page and a half does not look away. Through the entire conversation, he's just looking at Sirius. I love them. Up next is another 3-person ship. I do ship 2 of the people in this ship together, just in general, but once you add this 3rd person in, I'm over the moon, and that is Blue and Gansey and Henry from the Raven Chronicles. I love them so much. I instantly started to fall in love with Henry when he came in. I loved his character. He's just like super duper snarky and also just like so hilarious, so funny. Part where they have the party where the infamous road trip is originally brought up by Blue and Henry, and just it's so good. They all become friends instantly, and the fact that they're all on the road trip together right now is so good. But also, Henry understands Blue a little bit better than anyone besides Adam does, and he also understands Gansey more than most people do. And the fact that they all just I just picture them on their road trip, falling in love, kissing a whole lot, because we don't listen to Maggie Stiefvater when she says that Blue can't kiss people anymore because that shit ain't right, and I don't care what any author has to say. Blue, Gansey, and Henry are kissing like a storm. Okay, now we have a couple of softer ships, and the first one is Simon and Bram from the Simon Versus series. I love them so much. Specifically, I'm in love with Bram. Everything after, when you find out that Bram is Blue in the book, is my favorite. I love it. Their first date where they go to the store and they get Oreos and they put them in milk, because Simon talked about how he loved Oreos and milk, and Bram listened and that's their first date, and then they changed their Facebook profiles. And also, we're bringing in Leo on the offbeat, just like the way that Bram is so interested in what Simon likes. Like, he has the freaking Simon, like the way he proposes to Simon for prom, and the way that like him and Leah are just like, we're gonna find the fan fiction that Simon wrote because I'm interested in the things that my boyfriend does. So good, so good, so fucking good. And then listen, when Bram and Simon were like, we're gonna bring back the Blue and Jacques emails because of our long distance relationship, I screamed and then I cried because I'm a weak little bitch baby. Another Shadowhunters couple, Helen and Eileen are one of my favorite ships of all time. They're my second favorite Shadowhunter ship. Listen, Eileen is me. I am Eileen. Whenever I do the video that I've been mentioning about characters who represent me, Eileen is gonna be on there. Every time Eileen says my wife, like fucking John Mulaney, and that's my wife, I'm just dead. When Eileen has to defend Helen to Drew, just because Drew is being a little bitch and is like, I want pancakes. I want Julian's pancakes. And she did it to Helen, and Helen was like, I'm sorry, I don't know how to make pancakes. And he got really upset. But the second she does it to Eileen, Eileen's like, no, you're gonna have these eggs that I made, or you're gonna starve. You could eat goldfish for all I care. But you are not going to be mean to Helen ever again. I love them so much. And the fact that I know that the next series where they're gonna be part of, because right now it's the Lost Hours series, but the next series that they're gonna be a part of is gonna be crazy for me, because on the one hand, I'm gonna have Helen and Eileen being true wives and not in Siberia, and it's gonna be so fucking great. But on the other hand, I'm gonna have another one of my ships. You know what? Let's keep with the Shadowhunters, Magnus Bane and Alec Lightwood. They are the reason I wanted to read the Shadowhunters series, because I had heard things about Magnus and Alex that made my heart hurt. So I was like, I need to suffer through the original series in order to get to the good shit with this ship, and it was so good once they have their children and they get married. I'm sorry, I can't. They're so, sometimes, you know those feelings where sometimes you really just want to cry and you just need to like you have emotions inside you and you just need to let them out, so you find ways to make yourself cry. Like you watch those sad homecoming military videos, or you watch like freaking Bear the musical. Sometimes when I feel like I want to cry, I think about the fact that Alex is going to die and Magnus is not going to die, and Magnus's son is also going to die, but his other son isn't going to die, so it's just going to be Magnus and Max left together after Alex. But yeah, so I love them. They annoyed me a little in the original series, but a lot of things annoyed me in the original series, so we're gonna ignore that. And also the red, what's it called? Whatever that new series is, the one that you get to see. Oh, another reason why Helen and Eileen are one of my favorite ships is that book. But Magnus and Alex and Helen and Eileen in that book, so good. Also, that book solidified Alec as a dumbass gay. A dumbass gay. That, you know that meme where it's just like, it's like character 1 is like, wow, they're pretty. Character 2, you don't have to worry about that. You're pretty too. And then character 1 is like, I'm not raining down on my confidence. I'm being gay, sir. That is Alec and Eileen. 100%. And the last ship is Neil Jostin and Happiness. I do ship Neil and Andrew, but really I just ship Neil Jostin and Happiness. Let my boy be happy. Let my boy be happy, let him play his dumbass game, and let him be with his boyfriend. Let them be happy, but specifically, let my boy be happy. This has been me fangirling for way too long over couples that literally make my heart stop. In the meantime, I hope you had a great time with me today. As always, there's a link down below to where you can register to vote, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye!